Welcome to Ask Cadence, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm Pete Wright, sitting at the table once again with Connie Plowman. Connie, hello, hello.
Hello, Pete. You're looking great today.
You know, I actually did my hair for this day. It's rare, but I did go to the stylist. John, Patton, welcome back again.
Thank you very much, Pete. When are we going to have video casts?
Yes, stay tuned.
People can see your hair.
We have a guerrilla project problem here today, and this one I think is very interesting. Connie, I'm going to read it off the card, and I'm going to ask you to flesh it out for us a little bit. Team members receive task instruction and don't respond appropriately. They provide superficial work to evade responsibility. Now, it reads to me like there's a lot of negative emotion in there, like there's some tension in that card. Something you've seen before?
There's a lot going on in that question, Pete. Thanks for asking it. One of the things as a team member is to look as to what got them on the team to start with. What is their commitment to be in this project team to make things happen? And so one of the very first things that we need to do as a project manager is hold a team meeting. Say, these are expectations. These are my expectations of you as team members. What are your expectations of me as a project manager? And what are your expectations of each other as team members? And that is a terrific exercise to do in any team environment. I've used that a lot in terms of my volunteer work with the Project Management Institute and setting expectations. So as a team member, we've got to establish that. In addition, we need to establish our roles as team members and what that commitment means. We need to take ownership of those tasks being assigned to us. And so we look for those tools and techniques to help us. What does it mean to take ownership? What does it mean to be committed to take responsibility for getting this thing done? And what is the impact if I don't get it done on the team, on the project, and on the business? It's a great question.
Is there such a thing as too late to resolve these sorts of things?
I don't think it's ever too late, Pete. It reminds me of a functional department I once had before forming Cadence. It's really important to me that any piece of work which is sent outside the department, particularly if it's a report, is in absolutely first-class condition. And in this particular assignment, I was editing and re-editing what my staff had done even 5 times. When finally I met with the staff and I said, I've got to understand why I'm getting such poor work from you. And they were shocked. And they said, we thought you wanted to do most of the work yourself. You're rewriting everything we turn in.
Oh, no.
Yes, we had a very good face-to-face talk. And they said, why should we put our best effort into the first draft? Because you're going to change it radically. And I said, okay, we need to have a talk about finished work. And let's change our expectations. I'm going to expect that whatever you give me represents the best you can do. And then I promise that if you do that, I'll edit your draft only once. You make the changes, any other things you want to add, and out it goes. And that changed the performance of that whole department. I was really the cause. I'd created an emotional environment that demotivated people. And so I really had to thank them for having the courage to confront me and coming up with a solution that allowed them to do their best work. And I really have found over the years, Pete, that people do want to do good work.
If they didn't want to do good work, would you find them on the project team in the first place?
If they didn't want to do good work, we open up a whole different scenario, Pete. As you suggest that, it suggests to me of the person who is retired on the job and wants to do as little as possible until retirement.
Well, I ask the question only because that's the tone that I'm reading from this question. If this person really has a problem where their team members are evading responsibility, it suggests to me an environment that there's more of a trench to dig out of.
Okay, I think you're right, Pete. This is a judgment call on the part of the writer. Now, just as I felt that people in my department were doing very poor work, I was really blind and unaware that my own behavior was triggering this response. So I do believe that this person needs to sit down with the team and say, let's take on a problem together here. It is my impression that people are trying to evade responsibility, and give 2 or 3 concrete examples. And after that, be very willing to listen, to listen in a non-defensive way, because there may be much more, as you say, Pete, this trench may be a whole lot deeper than what we think.
I think when we take an approach like that, we work from the facts and from examples of things that have actually occurred. You get to solutions faster, and you take out the emotional fact that might be into your conversation, and you work on the problem that does exist and not on the people.
You know, Pete, you've found a very good card here, one that is a term that I hear more and more frequently every day is authenticity. And situations like this can be resolved when parties who come to the table decide to be authentic with each other.
Well, that's a great point to end on. This has been another very interesting discussion, frankly, from Ask Cadence. Thank you very much for joining us, for downloading us. Visit us next week for another episode. We'll see you next time.